Welcome to the West Coast Sauce Podcast. I'm Garrett, and I'm here with
Grady.
Hey, what's up, Grady? How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Just having a day out here in Vancouver.
Oh,
And by the way, I am from Vancouver. Where are you from, Grady?
I'm from Tustin, California.
Tustin, California. Now, tell me, what gives you the right to talk about hockey on a podcast like this in Tustin, California?
Well, hockey's growing out here. We got a lot of kids that are up and coming. We got a fellow local guy named Cam York who's going to be coming up and kind of give the way for California kids. And it's a growing game out here. Right down the street, there's an outdoor rink, and everyone just loves hockey and loves their Ducks out here.
Yeah, so the Ducks, they're the local team out in Anaheim, which is very close to Tustin, and they just opened up a huge rink in Irvine, which is a neighboring city to you.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, I actually used to live down in Anaheim. I used to work for the Ducks at one of their local rinks, so that's all pretty cool. And we played high school hockey together.
Oh, yeah.
That was a time and a half.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just here to tell our side of the story. We're kind of bored of the West Coast getting pooped on by the East Coasters. We're tired of it. We're pretty critical of the Ducks, which is both of our favorite teams, because we're tired of the poopy hockey they're playing, honestly. I'm kind of glad to see that they're on the up and up and kind of moving along and trying to do something different here with Bob Murray now. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it was a good move for him to step in rather than someone else come in and kind of have to join the sinking ship, but have someone that's already a part of it kind of just join in and take it out through the rest of the season, and then they'll figure it out from there.
Yeah, and as of this moment, we are recording this podcast on Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
Thanks, you too.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So we're out here recording because we thought, what would be a better way than to kick off our podcast with a quick little recap and look at the game from last night between the Anaheim Ducks, your local team, and the Vancouver Canucks, my local team. So both of these teams are kind of struggling, to say the least. I would say that the Canucks have had it worse for longer, but then again, they're not looking too bad this season.
No, they got some good guys up front in Besser and Pettersson, and they got a good future ahead of them with some nice goalies, some nice defensemen, and they should be good in the running.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I went to the Canucks game the other night when they played the Calgary Flames, and it was a very good game. Markstrom stood on his head. He had 44 saves in regulation, and they won it in the shootout. It was awesome, and good game, rivalry game, which is always fun. No matter where you go, you're always going to get good energy from a rivalry game.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, looking at the Canucks, they do have, like you said, Besser and Pettersson. They got Horvat up there. Now, where I think they've been struggling the most this season is on the blue line. And, they got Quinn Hughes coming in, so that should really add a spark. But my thing with them is there's almost no grit. They don't really have any grit. They got Gud Branson, but he's like the softest big dude I've seen.
Yeah, he's not old there yet. I mean, they got Tanev, and can't sleep on a guy, Olli Juolevi, too. He's still up and coming. It's been a little slow for him in the development, but, you never know what he could turn into when he starts making it in the NHL.
Yeah, exactly. And not even sleeping on Quinn Hughes. I was here for the World Junior Championships, and I went to the final game between Team USA and Team Finland. And let me tell you, what a treat of a game that was to see the top two prospects of the upcoming draft go head to head. And I know it's one of the few times that Jack and Kakko have played each other, because Kakko hasn't been appearing in all of the U18 Finnish games. So that was interesting, and let me tell you, Kakko dominated that game. It was quite... he has a presence about him, almost Patrick Laine-esque, that energy he brings to the table. He's got that strength to him. Whereas Jack, he kind of looked lost out there, not going to lie.
Yeah, he was struggling with that injury throughout the tournament, but he came in, he put up assists every game he played, though, so... it was hard to see them fall like that to Finland in the last couple minutes. But, Kakko, he won it for them, and they won the gold ultimately.
Yeah, and it was a great tournament, and I think Quinn Hughes was the standout on Team USA to me. He can skate, and I think everybody in Vancouver, they let me tell you that everybody out here is excited for Quinn Hughes. That's their guy. They got him last draft, and solid pick. He's going to be a great NHL player, and that's just what I think. That's what I saw. He was composed. Now, boy needs a couple cheeseburgers, and
Yeah.
he'll be set. But back to last night's game.
Mm-hmm.
GM, or head coach and GM, Bob Murray, led the Ducks to their first win in what, 8 games?
Yeah, they had 7-game losing streak and lost like 19 in their last 21 or something crazy like that. So it was time for the change, and he obviously sparked a little fire under them and got them to compete a little bit harder and have that hunger and that the drive to win ultimately and want the puck. And they looked decent last night. They still got some stuff to work on, but it was a good start.
I will say, I did notice that they were a little harder on the puck, especially in front of the net. Now, it wasn't apparent all the time because the Ducks are still doing that thing where they can break it out, but nobody's taking it into the zone. They all just kind of like hover around the outside.
Exactly.
And, even on Silverberg's goal was him just flying towards the front of the net and basically just sweeping it right past Markstrom, who, again, he had a very good game, 1 goal against.
Mm-hmm.
Played out of his mind, so that's how you're going to have to score goals in this league sometimes. And the Ducks, we don't take like any high scoring chance shots. It's just low percentage stuff after low percentage stuff. And that's why watching Max Jones in the game last night, I think he brings a very good energy to the team.
Oh, yeah. He had that one
so
shift
for
that
the
just
youth that we got
dominated.
coming up. Yeah. Even Kevin Boyle with his first NHL start, first NHL win, and first NHL shutout.
Oh, yeah. Not a big deal.
And, a lot of people, I follow some of the Canadian sports fans up here, some guys that have podcasts of their own.
Mm-hmm.
And on Twitter last night, they were saying, who would have guessed that the Canucks would get shut out by a no-name goalie?
Yeah.
And I say, no-name goalie. We've known Kevin Boyle for years down in San Diego. He's having a stellar season down there, just like the rest of the team.
Yes.
And I kind of like that there's a good culture happening down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
all those young guys.
Like, a lot of people are saying that after Bob Murray, who are we going to bring in as coach? And I think Eakins, he's at the top of the list for sure.
Yeah.
Especially, like, people are saying he has a good culture down there. I like what he does with the young kids, and I'm all for that. I think that is kind of where his specialty lies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, when he was in Edmonton, he was in Edmonton.
Yeah.
So
can't do much there.
Yeah, and for some of our prospects that have been playing down in San Diego, he's been there. He's been coaching well. He's been winning games.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of the guys are buying into his system down there, and that's exactly what the Ducks need because it didn't seem like anybody bought into Randy Carlyle's system.
No, they were all kind of tired of it, and they stopped listening to him, so they definitely needed that changed, at least for now, to have Murray step in and hear a new voice for now. But Eakins can be a good guy. Coming up, he's got all those young guys. They know who he is. He brings that new youth, that new system, the speed game, hopefully, and can help the Ducks out. It's just a matter of fact if some of those older guys like Getzlaf, Perry, and Kessler, if some of them are here, they can listen to him. But those young guys probably, they're holding on to him, and they're rolling down in San Diego, that's for sure.
Yeah, and, I've heard things that, Bob Murray, he came back from a trip from Sweden right before firing Carlisle. And a lot of people were saying, he's scouting over in Sweden.
Yeah.
But the thing was, there was no hockey going on at the time other than, like, some tournament stuff, very limited tournament stuff.
Yeah.
And people are saying that he was looking for a coach. Now, people are naming coaches, and I don't want to name any coaches because there's a lot of hockey coaches and capable hockey coaches out in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would be very interested in is seeing one of those Swedish coaches come in with the style of play from Europe.
Yeah.
The more flow, more speed, more
definitely
getting it done. It's like
roller hockey kind of
the
style.
Ducks haven't had that. We've been stuck. Like with Randy Carlisle, the Ducks came out at the beginning of the season and they're saying, hey, we wanna go out and we want to be faster. We want to get faster. They got pieces for it. They're drafting for it. They're doing all this stuff, but yet it was still like they had one foot in the door.
Yeah.
They just couldn't get over the dump and chase and the gritty hockey that Carlisle wants. And it's like, you can have that, but it's got to be a byproduct of the speed game.
Yeah, definitely.
I just don't I don't know what we were doing so long. I honestly don't know why we rehired him.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously had the 17 run, which you got to give him some credit there. There were some nice times where he made some plays in the playoffs where he changed things up in lineups that actually won us some games. And there were some plays. I remember a game 3 versus Edmonton where he made that play where Cogliano got off, Raquel went out, and Getzlaf hit him on that breakaway. There was little coaching things like that.
Yeah, the Statue of Liberty play.
Yeah, so he was good that year.
In Game 6.
Yeah, but the NHL moved fast after that. It really moved fast. And, it's not his fault or anything like that. 2017 was about the last year where that old NHL style was just barely there, and we were able to play it. And the Ducks were obviously able to go to the Western Conference Finals, but they couldn't fall through with that. But then the NHL changed the next year, and we had a lot of old guys on the team, and we got just.
I was just about to say, I feel like
year.
2017 was also the last year that Kessler actually showed up to a hockey game.
Yeah, except for the playoffs, but it's all right.
Well, yeah, I mean, what, the playoffs last year where we got swept?
Yeah, and then in 2017 he had one goal or something like that. He was kind of a little.
That's also true.
Yeah,
as much as I love Kessler for getting into the face of the other star players, he's got to either, one, chill out on fighting children.
Yeah.
Or two, just I don't know, stay out of the box, dude. He's got to stay out of the box if he's going to stay in the NHL.
Yeah, if you're not going to put up the points, you got to be playing smart away from the puck, doing the little things that help us. Obviously, he's a big face-off guy. It surprised me
last year to look at who led our team in penalty minute and to see Kessler up there.
Yeah,
some of the least amount of games played on the team.
Yeah, that was definitely surprising to see, especially for someone like Nick Ritchie that was behind him last year. Obviously, he's been smarter this year, but for Kessler
Nick
to do
Ritchie
that.
is a totally different player this year, by the way. He looks great. He's making decisions. He looks like he's in the best shape that we've seen him in.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably top 3 right now in point, top 3 or 4 or 5, something like that in points, but he's played less games than everyone else. Definitely a different player than last year. He's worked with Gary Roberts as he stood out a couple games, but he came in flying, and he's about to match his point total, and he's played half the games. He was on pace for 50
100%.
points if he played the whole season or something like that. So can't sleep on Ritchie. He'll be a good piece hopefully in the future.
Yeah, I think it would be prudent to re-sign Ritchie, especially after a season like this, and especially knowing how well he plays with Kasha.
Yeah, exactly.
Kasha's speed and shiftiness allows Ritchie, to get in position, kind of get in the way of people and kind of wreak havoc. That's what Nick Ritchie does.
Yeah.
He's got great hands. They both have really good hands. They both have a really good shot. And we've seen that on display. Very limited by Ritchie.
Yeah.
But then I also like that line with Henrique. Henrique is very complimentary to those two as well, just because he's a smart defensive guy.
Yeah.
Who's a solid two-way player. And I think that's a really good line.
Yep.
Now, the thing is, what's going to happen with Adam Henrique?
Yeah.
Now, it's kind of a tough one because of the Kessler contract. Because Adam Henrique is 29 years old. He's in the prime of his career, I would say. And his contract starts next season. And in that contract, 5 years, he'll be 35 when that contract's up. There is a no-move clause. Now, that no-move clause is important because we already have a bunch of no-move clauses.
Yeah.
Wrapped up in a bunch of money. Now, it's not the money that I'm concerned with for Henry. It's just that the Seattle expansion.
Yeah.
We're in that zone where we're getting a lot of these young guys like Steele, Terry, Lundstrom, Larson even. It's like these guys that don't have the no moves and they're not protected. It's like those are looking pretty juicy. And I know we lost Shea Theodore
and
Clayton Stoner.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
shit.
not the worst thing to happen,
Mm-hmm.
Vegas. But after the run Vegas went on, I'm going to be interested to see if they do like the same kind of expansion draft.
Yeah. Yeah.
But overall, I think Henrique has been one of our most solid centers. I mean, we always have
Yeah.
Getzloff,
Yeah.
and
Definitely.
Getzloff is one of the premier centers in the league. Anybody can argue me on that, and I'll come back and I'll clap you with some facts.
Yeah.
I don't know which facts I'll clap you with. Mainly, I guess he's just bald and good at hockey.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is what
He's
it
got
is.
it all so
But
far.
yeah, and I'm really glad last night in our game against Vancouver, Bob Murray went right back to putting Getzloff, Perry, and Raquel out there,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome. I think that line is great.
Yeah.
And I think that if you claim Corey Perry should play with anybody else, you're wrong because he needs Getzloff
Yeah.
as much as
Exactly.
Getzloff needs Perry.
Yeah. And
Well, I mean, I could say Getzloff doesn't need Perry as much as Perry needs Getzloff, but I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
it's a good dynamic between the two, and they've always had that good dynamic.
Yeah,
So,
they've always known each other, and they've got a little something going still. Obviously not as good as the previous years, but it's a line where like obviously like the opposing team's on their heels a little bit when they see those guys out there, and when those guys are leading and those guys are going, everyone's going. That line's kind of got to lead the way. So they
yeah,
kind of
and like the one thing about Getzloff and Perry is they're so good at cycling.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Getzloff, he can just basically power through most people
Yeah.
and keep that puck. That's one of the things Getzloff can do. Is
One of the
he
best
has
in the
that
league
puck on
at it. Yeah.
screen. And then Perry, I don't know, like most of the time I don't understand what Perry's doing. He's like a little eel out there. He kind of just slips through the cracks between the defense.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, yeah, and gets in there
Yeah.
and he starts like, he's like, I still have the puck. People are like, how do you still have the puck? Next
Yeah.
thing you know, Perry's like scoring and his arms are flailing everywhere.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's why, Perry's a net front guy who he can do everything. I wish Perry took more slap shots. That's one thing. He has a gnarly slap shot.
Yeah, he has a good
Not
shot
talked
for
about
sure.
enough.
Yeah, underrated for sure.
That and really like how do you like Raquel up on that line with those two guys?
I like Raquel on that line. I mean, he obviously a goal scorer, but he's not. The production isn't there. I mean, obviously, like you got to kind of think of more in duos rather than the whole line. So you got to kind of keep Perry and Getzloff together, or Raquel or Getzloff. It's either one or the other. But might try a guy with like Richie up on that line or something like that every once in a while, or Sprong or something like that. And obviously Kosh is out, and it wouldn't hurt to see Raquel maybe try with Henrique or something like that. But that's really all I can see is Perry and him are kind of guys that need to be with Getzloff, and they're gonna give him Getzloff's gonna give him the puck, and obviously they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
And this is why I'm excited about Isaac Lindstrom coming up. A natural center.
Yeah.
He has expressed interest in playing center only.
Mm-hmm.
I know we had him on the wing, but that's just because we have a bunch of money tied up in Kessler on a one-way contract with a no-move clause. Now, I've heard things about buying him out.
Yeah.
I've heard things about him retiring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the basis on either of these.
Yeah.
But I also have insider knowledge. I'm not going to out anybody, but I also have heard that Kessler is quite unhappy with the captaincy situation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I could see why, honestly. Like, I think that was because Josh Manson was wearing the A at one point. Now, this could totally be unbiased. This could totally be way out there. I don't know if any of this is true or not. This is just what I heard. This is rambling. I could see why you'd be pissed off that Manson has the A.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the season he's had, it's been kind of lackluster compared to seasons past. And, the boy got married. Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
But really, I don't know what to think of his play recently.
Yeah.
I mean, even last night, he was making some bad plays.
Yeah, that's the only turnovers I really recognize, like him and a couple for Fowler. But, it's mainly him, and a lot of them they've cost us throughout the season where they've easily turned around into goals. And, it's like little mistakes where you obviously they're watching film and stuff like that, but they got to watch and they got to be smarter with it and make those smart, at least get it off the glass if it's not going to mean, it's all turnovers where a lot of it's tape to tape or easy passes to the other team, and they're in and getting a good chance on our goalie. So it's definitely not helping us right now.
Yeah, it's that, and then I think we've had a legacy over the past few years in Anaheim of having one of the strongest defenses, one that was oftentimes compared to Nashville's defense. With the amount of solid defenders mixed with offensive ready blue liners.
Yeah,
and we have Brandon Montour, who is more of our, I would say, offensive defenseman.
Yeah,
without Sammy Vatanen now.
Yeah,
and then we have Josh Manson, who I always thought more of a stay-at-home guy.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
He has shown really brilliant flashes over the past couple seasons of jumping into the play and making plays.
Yep, exactly.
But I think he's almost tried to come into that identity harder with more make himself known as an offensive guy.
Yeah.
When he's just kind of forcing it. He's shoehorning himself into the play, making himself unavailable on the back check. And, it's like we have a lot of good defensemen.
Yeah.
We have Lindholm and Fowler, who I would say are our top two defensemen.
Yeah.
People who want to trade Fowler, by the way, are dead wrong. I don't know why anybody would say that.
Yeah.
But, you get to see players get exposed when you have somebody jumping in like Josh Manson does all the time. I mean, the amount of 2-on-1s that we're scored on is unbelievable.
Brutal.
And it's not even because they made the wrong play. I mean, there have been a couple bad ones by Lindholm in particular where it's like he acts like he's taking the pass and then doesn't commit to it and just misses everything.
Yeah.
And that's bad. But what's worse is because these are all happening because you jump in with a dump and chase offense, at least till that point. And it's like, what are you actually going to do when the puck's being rimmed around? You're a defenseman in the corner. Like, I'm not saying you're not capable, but at the same time, you have to know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was interesting. And I saw that the Ducks, they didn't dump and chase as much last night.
No, it wasn't.
No, that was pretty clutch.
Pretty rare.
They were cycling really well. They got the puck low. They didn't dump it as much, though. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, they had those chances, which they need in this style of NHL. You've got to generate chances off the rush. You got to figure out how to, starting from the D, when they get the puck, there's got to be speed, there's got to be support, and you've got to support the puck carrier, and then you got to enter the zone and get a nice pass or a nice shot, and you've got to avoid the dump as much as you can to generate a nice chance off the rush, because it's like by the time you're dumping and chase it, all their guys are coming back, getting set, and then everyone's there, and we continue to do perimeter play, and it's not going to create many high-quality chances as if you get one off the rush.
Yes. Now, to reel that back in and talk about that a little bit, the Ducks on the power play haven't been great this season, haven't been the worst, haven't been the best. We're floating somewhere in the bottom third, I believe, and that is because I will sit here in front of my TV, in front of my computer, in front of my phone, wherever I'm watching the game.
Yeah.
And I'll see the Ducks get a power play. Yes, power play. Time to actually pay attention and not care about homework for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and, they take the puck to the red line, take it to the blue line, and then they just dump it, dude.
Yeah.
They just ring it around the boards.
Can't happen.
And that, especially against teams with goalies that can handle the puck, it's literally just, wasting our own power play time. It's like, you want it? Here,
Definitely.
We'll dump it in. Basically clear the puck opposite so you can clear it again for us. Because we really love breaking out even though we're dog shit at it.
Yeah. They need to watch some teams like Washington or Toronto and just how the speed, that drop. I mean, we've tried it before, the drop pass, and then one guy carries it or passes it across. It's got to be carried in. It can't be dumped. And then
and typically it's Raquel, Kasha, or Fowler that can carry that in, and all three of them are good at it. But then it's like we do it to the point where we have no speed from anyone else going into the zone. Everybody just stops at the blue line.
Everyone's stopped. Everyone's in a straight line across the blue line. There's no support. There's no nothing. And once they get it in the zone, it's a lot of stop, hold the puck. Just it's like bubble hockey, and they're passing it. The the box +1 or the diamond +1, whatever they're doing.
Yes.
There's not a lot of it's just movement, and they're just standing there, and they try to get a gets off shot a couple times, but they'll just get a
Yeah.
random shot off. It's got to be. They had a couple times where they kind of simulated what other teams are doing, where Sprong came, did the big circle like what Matthews does,
Yep.
picks it up
Very
and
nice.
gets a nice
He's
shot
a good
off,
skater,
and that's
good
what
puck
gets us
handler.
a goal.
Yeah, and like I love when the Ducks are able to do that, but half the time they're either letting the other team just clog up the middle of the zone while everybody stands around,
Yeah.
or they just pass to the perimeter all day.
Yeah.
Now,
It's too easy.
Getzlaf, great passer, great shooter,
Yeah.
and people say Getzlaf needs to shoot more. Do I agree? Yes, I think a lot of people need to shoot more. I mean, look at Daniel Sprong when he first joined the team. He just was shooting everything.
Yeah, that's what we
Pucks were
needed.
going in, and now like I don't know if it's like a team culture thing or not, but it's just like they're looking for the perfect shot. And in today's NHL, with how good goalies are and how the gear hugs everything, and
Yeah.
how defensemen now with the skate guards and better gear are blocking more shots than ever, and especially hearing people talk about Getzlaf's shot and how hard it is to handle. Like he can just fire and get rebounds and kind of get that going.
Yeah.
Now, sure, you might get it like knocked out or cleared off a rebound, but I mean, is it going to be any different from what they're doing now? Well, they get one shot on a power play and it was from like the outside corner of the circle.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how is that going to be more effective than just throwing puck?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to win you some games when you can generate on the power play, so they got to just start working on that and watch some film from other teams. I'm sure they're doing that, but it's got to be
Just
more
don't watch
movement.
film from the Vancouver Canucks, because the Vancouver Canucks have the worst power play in the league.
Surprising.
And it is pretty bad. I think they are one for their last 23 or 24 after last night's game.
Wow.
And
Brutal.
people are not happy with old Ducks assistant coach, Newell Brown, who is now the assistant coach for the Canucks and apparently does special teams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so when I was at the game, people were like, oh, power play, time to fire Newell. And, I can resonate with that. If you know your power play is not doing well, change something, honestly. You got to change stuff. You got to keep changing.
Yeah.
I don't know. But playing the Canadian teams, it's always a treat because I can watch the broadcast up here in Canada. And every time I'm like, get home and I'm like, oh, the Ducks are playing the Canucks. That's going to be local prime time for me. Awesome. Not a problem. I could go to any bar, watch the game anywhere. It's perfect.
Awesome.
It's literally my perfect situation. I could
life.
go eat tacos, have a margarita, watch the Ducks lose. Or win, hopefully. If it's Vancouver, we might win. We might have a chance.
Yeah, we got the chance. Yeah.
But I literally cannot stand Canadian broadcasters. I don't know what it is, man. I was sitting here, watching the game last night, and it's not anything about like their voices or their passion for their team, but I was sitting here and they were so salty about Kevin Boyle, and they kept mentioning how he's having a perfect game, and it's like that's something you don't do, especially like I know you want your team to win and you could help if you jinx the goalie, but still, it's like his first NHL game. He's playing well.
Yeah, give him a break.
Give the guy a break.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a baseball announcer and you mention a perfect game for a pitcher, you're gonna get eaten alive. Now, I know it's like big market Vancouver, small market Anaheim, but still, it's like, come on, give the guy a break. It's his first NHL game.
Was this
You don't
Sportsnet?
have to be so salty.
Was this on Sportsnet?
Yeah, this was on Sportsnet Prime, which is has the local games for the Canucks.
Okay.
I believe so. Yeah. Then they'll have games on TSN or whatever. So.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm not the biggest fan of the Ducks announcers.
Yeah.
Like they're cool and all, and they're our hometown boys. But man, if I have to listen to Brian Hayward talk about going back to wood sticks because of slashing, and man, nothing makes me want to just like.
Oh man.
I don't even know. It's like, dude, who cares? You got I get it if you break the stick on a slash, but
Yeah.
It's like, come on, you really want to go back to wood stick? Like,
Yeah,
that would be
come on.
the most interesting thing to happen to
He just
hockey
wants
in
to
a
get back
while.
in there.
Like, wood sticks are fun to play with, not at a high level.
No, not at all. I mean, especially what they have today in the league.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So, anyways, that was a good game last night.
Yeah.
Kind of boring, low scoring.
Yeah,
Not
obviously.
typical modern hockey.
No, not
But-
at all.
You know, Kevin Boyle had, 45? No. How many saves did he have? He had a lot.
Yeah, he had a good amount. I mean, obviously, like double of what we had, but yeah, he definitely
Yes.
had the ones that keep us in there. You know, the ones Gibby was making all season, and he was on his head all night.
Yeah, he just played solid. He didn't do anything crazy, and there were a couple times where he was lucky off of deflections or
Oh yeah,
pucks that just kind of bounced weird.
uh-huh.
But overall, you can't knock him for just getting in that butterfly and keeping it tight.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's see in my notes here. Yes, I want to talk about Elias Pettersson.
Oh,
That guy,
ridiculous.
he had one shot that was so hard and went off the
The
crossbar.
crossbar on the power play. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
Lord,
The stationary slap shot, just unreal.
nasty. And then in the third period, he had this move. He was going in 1-on-1 against Cam Fowler, and he did a stop and go that was just unbelievable.
Oh, and he just made
I don't
Fowler
know.
reaching.
Yeah, like Fowler just stopped and he kept going.
Yeah.
And it's just like the way like his whole body turned, like it was so convincing, and
Oh,
then he
dude,
just kept
he's
going. And I
So
haven't seen-
cheeky.
Yeah, it almost looks like a McDavid when McDavid scored that goal where he just walked around Botman in that playoff series from 2017.
Oh yeah, the little quick turn and then the snipe. That was amazing.
Yeah.
He's so
That
good with
was
his
a nice
edges. It's just like he's just like McDavid, just like Johnny Gaudreau with the hands and then the
Yeah.
quick shot. Just like he's got everyone looking everywhere else, and it's insane that he's my age and he's just ripping up the league.
Yeah, dude. Get used to that, by the way. It's only going to get worse.
Oh
where
yeah,
you're watching these players and you're like, man, I really, really like watching this kid play hockey. And you look at him and you're like, I'm 5 years older than this
yeah. Seriously, I mean,
guy.
got McDavid 1 year old, McDavid and Matthews all at 97 birth years. That's insane, and they're the stars of the league now. So it's definitely the younger league, that's for
I
sure.
mean, the guy's on the cover of GQ, right? Like,
Yeah,
ooh.
man rocket.
Yeah. But, like Johnny Gaudreau, I watched him play the other night against
my gosh.
Pettersson, and it was a pretty good game. Not
What
going to
a
lie.
treat, yeah.
Gaudreau, he can really control the pace of play, and he didn't.
Definitely.
I don't think he scored. And the weirdest thing happened, dude. It got to the shootout, and they didn't put Gaudreau in.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. They didn't put him in. What was it? They lost when what was it? Monahan shot, I think, and then they lost the
Yeah,
game.
it was like a Monahan. They put Neal in there, and I'm not knocking those guys. I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
gotta
you
be
got Johnny Gaudreau,
pretty freaking
which
good
is-
to play in the NHL, but like you're
Yeah.
not going to put Johnny Hockey, the guy that you literally building your team around.
Yeah, seriously. You're
Like
you're
I
winning
get
the game.
I get it on the Ducks. It's like you're not going to put Getzlaf in every
Yeah.
shootout.
Exactly.
But Getzlaf isn't the same player as Gaudreau.
No, not at all. It's a quick shot for Getzlaf. Gaudreau's going to get the goalie swimming out there, and he's going to be most of the time getting it in the net. So,
But either way, didn't happen. He didn't get a shot.
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the Flames fan behind me were is equally as shocked as I was that Gaudreau didn't get a shot. Which, either way, watching Pettersson in that game, he had 2 assists, I believe, while against the Flames.
Dang.
That guy can move the puck. He's
Oh, yeah.
a very, very smart player.
Very smart.
Like
Yeah.
it's not just the moves. It's not just the goals. It's everything. He's a complete package player.
Yep.
And he got that little conky earlier in the season,
Mm-hmm.
which I was bummed about because I did go to a game earlier in the season that he was not there for.
Oh, that
But
sucks.
That was against the Capitals. Anyways,
Oh.
I don't think it would have made a huge difference. I got to see Ovi. I think he got 2 goals in that game.
Yeah. I can. It's a good
Pettersson,
one.
19 years old, right?
20. 98 birth
20.
year. Turning
Oh, okay.
21. this year.
Yeah, dude, he's on pace for like 90 points.
Yeah, and he how many games has he missed? Like almost probably around
10,
15,
13.
something like that. Yeah, so he hasn't even played the
Yeah,
full season, and he's on pace for he set some record the other day for rookie scoring, but hands down winning the Calder.
yeah. No doubt winning
Mm-hmm.
the Calder.
Yeah,
Um, he's unreal. I think they're gonna have Thatcher Demko come up
yeah, he's
next
good.
season, and he'll be a really good addition to a pretty a nice solid growing core is what I'll
Yeah,
call the Canucks,
yeah,
because I think they're just a little lost in their identity right now. I
yeah,
like what Travis Green is doing with the team. I think he's a good coach.
definitely.
Um, and I think that the culture, people, especially the Canucks fans, I'll be honest, like I'm immersed. I'm kind of about the Canucks. I even got like my Bo Horvat poster right in front of me. I got this signed Quinn Hughes hat right here in front of
Yeah.
me. I got some other Canucks gear somewhere in my apartment.
Uh-huh.
But these people are crazy. They live, eat, breathe, die Canucks. And it's
Yeah.
awesome, and I love it. But then, they're like, Elias Pettersson is boring. Like, well, he has no personality.
Oh,
It's like,
man.
dude, he has more personality than your chicken finger eating ass. Like, come on. Like, get out of your seat. That's the other thing. Is like in Rogers, they have like bars because they stack so many people. There's like bars right in front of the seat, especially in the upper section.
Really?
Kind of annoying, but it's hilarious at the same time because
Yeah.
they say don't lean on it, and everybody's leaning on it. And it's like, these Canucks fans, they're the worst. But then again, it's like I'm an Anaheim Ducks fans, and we have equally as trash fans.
Yeah.
I'm just
Exactly.
being honest. Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. And
Yeah.
these
Canadians
guys,
love their
who cares?
fans, and
Who
if things
cares
aren't
if
going
Elias
right,
Pettersson is a little not personable. The dude's 20 years old, and he's making more money than everybody
yeah,
who's so
yeah, like
they
give him
can.
a break. Come on, he's taking
Plus,
the
you
league
got
by
Bo
storm.
Horvat when you got Gus, right? Gus's little dog.
Mm-hmm.
It was Bo, right? I'm not making a mistake there. But either way, it's like they get enough. They get way more than Ducks fans do. I mean, what
Yeah,
we
they
get
got
like
the-
a Cam Fowler interview every couple periods.
Yeah.
Sick. Like Cam Fowler, sick. Like, I'm not saying that to like trash Cam Fowler. I think he's a great player, great interviewer. But to be a great interviewer, you got to kind of be boring.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Elias Pettersson's hilarious in those interviews when they gives those death stares.
Yeah, he's kind of like he has that Silverberg bad guy James Bond villain-esque look.
Yeah, yeah, with the hair and everything, a little alien-like, but
Yeah, but I mean, McDavid's a robot, basically.
yeah,
You don't hear, oh, McDavid has no personality. Well, I mean, he's got the lettuce growing out, so I'll
yeah.
give him
Come
that.
on, they're paid to play hockey. Give them a break.
The lettuce, McDavid's lettuce is looking pretty sick. I gotta say,
Yeah.
it was
He cut it.
There was a point where it was like in between, and it's like, dude, what is he doing? But now that I see like he's actually kind of growing it out, I'm excited to see that flow.
He cut it, dude. He cut it right before the All-Star game.
He did,
Yeah, no helmet in the
No.
skills, so he had
I
to
was like-
cut it.
dude.
It would have been
See,
amazing
the
to
one
see
time
him.
I start liking something about the Oilers, and they go out and ruin it. Like he could have been like it would have been like iconic, like Yager.
Yeah,
Mullet.
I mean,
Watching just the hair just whipping because none of the jerseys whip anymore. Got rid of that.
Yeah.
Because, it's like gotta be faster. It was like, no, dude. The jersey was absolute style.
Yeah.
You see McDavid jetting down the ice with like a flapping jersey. Ugh, nasty.
amazing. He
Nobody
cut it
gets
right
that,
before
dude.
the fastest skater too, so no one could see it flowing in the wind.
Oh, that was part of his training, dude. He was like, I gotta have as much weight on me. And
Yeah,
then when I do the fast
exactly.
skater, it's like, dude, just wear a swimming cap. Aren't you wearing a helmet anyways?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But he would have won either way. The dude's a magician with how fast he can, especially with the puck.
Ridiculous. Best thing,
Which is,
best in the league for sure.
Which is
with
the
that.
thing about like Jack Hughes. The kid
Mhm.
can move so fast with the puck.
Oh yeah, just the control with the puck is insane. It's just definitely give me a special player. Reminds me a lot of obviously McDavid, but a guy like Matt Barzal too, where they're just so good with the puck. They play so well with the puck, do everything with the puck, and the hands and the feet match so well.
Yes, that's the thing. And like the modern NHL that's what it's all about. You have to be able to think with your hands as fast as you think with your feet,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then think about everything else on top of that.
Yeah, their minds
Kind
are
of hard to
just
explain if
crazy.
you've never really played the game.
Hmm.
But either way, quick recap of last night's game.
Yeah.
The Anaheim Ducks took their first victory in 8 games over the Vancouver Canucks, who have dropped 2 in a row now. And Bob Murray, perfect record as a head coach,
Yee.
interim head coach.
Yes.
We have Kevin Boyle, got his first NHL start and NHL shutout. And so that was pretty
Welcome to the
cool to watch and
National.
see. Yeah. And overall, I hope that the Canucks can continue to win. I want to see the Canucks. They're my team that I want to see from the Pacific Division.
Yeah.
I hate the Flames. I mean, honestly, like the Flames are the worst. We can agree on that.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
they always struggle a
want
little
the
bit in the playoffs, so they'll have some hard
well,
teams
yeah,
to go up against if they're gonna make it far.
that's true. And the Flames do look good. I'm not going to deny them
Oh yeah,
that.
they
The
look
Flames look great.
amazing. Yeah, with a Lindholm was a no one really knew about him, and then he comes in
Yeah,
and obviously Neil's not doing as much, but he's just a
he's the real
presence
deal,
out
baby.
there. And then can't sleep on obviously Goudreau and Monahan, but Matthew Tkachuk is just something special
Yeah,
for
Cook
sure.
is he's him and his brother. They're both really good players. And
Yeah,
I think they
exactly.
both are slotting in well on their respective teams.
Yes.
Would I like to see the boys in an American team? Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
That's just the USA speaking.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Would've been nice.
yeah, that's all good. The Vegas Golden Knights, they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
The Pacific Division isn't the best division in hockey this season.
No.
I mean, clearly we got. I'm surprised that the Sharks aren't better. I'll just say that.
Yeah, they're kind of slowly getting there, but they're not the best. I mean, obviously Winnipeg's just. I mean, they're in the West, but
Winnipeg's very
Winnipeg's
good.
going to be
Central
that
team.
top team for sure. Yeah, they're
That'll
going
be
to
a
come
good.
out.
Whatever the semifinal is, those
Yeah.
are going to be some good games.
I could see San Jose possibly making it and playing Winnipeg, maybe.
Yeah.
That would
If
be
a
amazing.
Winnipeg and Nashville series happens, whew,
Like last year.
yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
real good.
that was
We're gonna fight,
treat.
lots of fight.
Mhm.
So, yeah. This is like the one season where I'm actually cheering for the Kings to win games.
Yeah, it helps us
Um,
out, helps everyone else out.
Yep, helps the Ducks. I still don't know why they signed Kovalchuk. I heard they were trying to dish him last time I checked, but it's
They're
Kings.
struggling for young guys. They don't have much besides Gabe Velarde down there, and the Reign or any too many prospects. They got Anderson Dolan who played on the World Junior team for Canada, but they don't have too much.
Well,
they're
that's
just
the
on
price
the
for
old-
2 cups. I mean, you
Yep.
could argue that they're in a better situation than Chicago.
Yeah,
I mean, Chicago has DeBrincat, but then they're also paying Taser and Kaner,
Strome on the rise.
12 miller each.
Mhm.
That's a lot of money that they got to pay those two.
Yeah, exactly.
Luckily, the cap's going up every year, but
Yeah,
Strome is unreal.
he's gonna be good. Yeah, everyone was sleeping on him, but now he's coming out, rekindling some of that old Erie Otters magic with him and DeBrincat. So that looks
Yes,
good.
sir. Yeah, that'll be some good stuff. I'm excited to see this last little stretch of hockey here before kind of getting down to the nitty gritty. And,
Mm-hmm.
the last month is really where it boils down. You know who's going to probably make it, who's on the fringe,
Yeah.
and then who's tanking.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I want the Ducks to tank because I like watching good hockey as much as
Yeah,
everybody,
exactly.
but man, it'd be real nice to get a piece.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what we're missing, and you look at all the years ever since, obviously 10 plus years, we haven't had anything since Bobby Ryan, a top pick like that. So it's like,
That's 15 years ago at this
yeah, 2005. So Crosby went
Yeah.
first, Bobby Ryan second, and we desperately need that. As we're It's more of like not a rebuilding phase. It's more of a transition phase as we already have a good crop of guys, but do we have that top-notch
That
player
piece,
that's going to lead
yeah.
us like what Getzoff has done for us, like down
Yeah.
the middle, a guy like Hughes or
See,
whatever that is.
yeah, exactly. And we have players. We're still not like, I don't believe we're as bad as what we've put on the table this year,
No.
especially with the amount of man games lost
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and just in general the whole coaching situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not being inspired, but the talent is definitely there. And I
Yeah.
think with a new regime, just a plethora of young guys that have already proven themselves in the NHL this season.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Come back. They're going to come back into a new system. They're
Yep.
going to come back, hopefully, with that guy like a Capo Kapanen or whatever.
Capo
And,
Caco.
Yeah.
There's
Capo
a lot of good options,
and then
whether we go wingers or centers or defensemen. Never know.
yeah, and I almost think like, the Ducks have been known for having a good center core. I
Mhm.
think it wouldn't be the worst idea to add back to that a little bit, especially
Yeah.
with our center core aging
Yeah,
so much.
exactly.
Which is why Lundestrom is a nice pick. We got Steele.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And basically, just to touch on the Coyotes, they're still the Coyotes.
Yeah, they're just pulling in pieces from whatever teams that want to trade pretty much. But yeah, obviously, Keller is an amazing talent. And then, they got a guy like Galchenyuk lately. And then Schmaltz, who is injured. But they got some good pieces for sure. But it's kind of just like
And
they seem like
is
that team
Renta
that
their
is
goalie,
pulling
right?
everywhere. What was that?
Yeah. Well, either way, this has been just our first podcast. This is the West Coast Sauce podcast, and we're going to do this periodically. Hopefully, we'll have a schedule sooner or later.
Mhm.
But really what we're all about is just trying to keep hockey on the West Coast, talk a little bit about our thoughts on some of the teams in the Pacific Division mainly. We'll talk about the whole league because we're just like that, but
Yeah.
we're just going to ramble and rant and kind of put out our thoughts on what's happening in the league
Yeah.
at the moment. And
Definitely.
I think that I kind of like this format where we kind of picked this game and kind of like went
Yeah.
off of it.
Yeah, we just talked about
it,
everything
and kind of
hockey
related
from the
different
league.
things to it.
Yeah, league,
Yeah.
draft pick, prospects. Just cover everything. Just you never know with hockey. You just can go on with everything.
Yeah. Because, we're on the West Coast and we're going to bring the sauce on it. A little bit of everything.
Oh yeah.
Not a bad thing to have.
Yeah.
So you can check us out on Twitter and on Instagram. But our Twitter is at West Coast Sauce. And our YouTube is also West Coast Sauce, and as well as our SoundCloud. That's where you can find this podcast. If you're listening to it on YouTube or somewhere else, you can find us on SoundCloud at West Coast Sauce. And with that, I think pretty good first episode.
Oh yeah.
Kind of all over the place, but a good introduction.
Good start.
Yeah, not
Good
too
start.
bad.
Yeah.
I'm Garrett again, and I was here with my buddy Grady.
Yep.
And we'll talk to you guys soon. See you next time.
Later.
Yeah.